Haley, thank you. We are learning more details tonight about the man accused of stabbing his girlfriend this morning on Old Hammond Highway and then setting himself on fire. Paramedics rushed Stephen Heinrich Jr. to the hospital with severe burns described as life-threatening. Officers found his girlfriend, 23-year-old Stacy Charles, stabbed several times around 2 o'clock this morning on Old Hammond. She did not survive. Investigators say after stabbing the victim, Heinrich then drove off, crossed into oncoming traffic, intentionally hit another vehicle, and then set himself on fire.
Let me tell you the craziest part about what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at a story about a woman who is no longer on this earth, and it is very unfortunate. And I'm looking at these two people, the victim and the perpetrator. Why do I have just like this sneaking suspicion that if this story gains traction, somebody's going to be stupid enough to start having the useless conversation that doesn't need to be had? And you know what? I'm gonna go look for it too. The stupid conversation that you all know is about interracial dating and how, see what happens when you do this outside of your race. Nobody wants to hear that when their family member or anybody has been murdered. So before I have to see it trend in my algorithm, just wanted to put that in front of y'all faces. Just so we're clear, when I say something as a means of a prediction, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of two things: when and how stupid it's going to sound.
Zaddy strikes again, y'all. Another black woman bites the dust at the hands of dating outside of her race, y'all. Y'all can see on the screen, 21-year-old Stephen Wrench deleted his 23-year-old ex-black girlfriend. Shortly after he deleted her, he set himself on fire and, unfortunately took his own life. And this just happened like 2 days ago, I believe. So, yeah. And I'm not saying what happened to her. Rest in preference to her, of course. But, yeah, that's what you get. Y'all nonstop getting on this TikTok and social media overly demonizing the hell out of black men. Yeah, when crap like this happens, y'all get so quiet and don't want to speak on it. Why? Because these are the men that y'all want. And for some apparent reason, when they do something, y'all understand what an individual is when Zaddy does something. But when black men mess up, it's every Negro in America who's bad. I don't want to attack the men that y'all want. That's why y'all not going to make a video about this. But I am. Y'all always say if anything happens like this with a black man, that's what he gets for dating outside of his race. So I hope the same thing applies to her. This is what she gets for dating outside of her race. I'm not saying that to push hate speech or sound like I'm trying to make fun of the situation. I'm just going off the same logic that y'all use. Talk about lower standards when it comes down to Zaddy. I mean, just look at this dude's face. Like, come on, bro. You got deleted by somebody that looked like him. I'm also going to assume she had an issue with black men. Probably had daddy issues. Probably hated herself. I'm just saying the same stuff y'all do when it happens to a black man. So I hope the same applies to her too. And Sade Robinson. And that other one who just got recently deleted in California who was 28. Rest in preference to her, though, again. Peace out.
How do we look at a story of a woman being murdered by her ex and realizing that if you dig deeper into the story, you find out that she had a restraining order on him. You find out that he has a history of restraining orders on him by other women. You find out that the system ultimately failed this woman.
The WBRZ investigative unit has obtained more documents showing the rocky relationship history that led to 2 deaths. According to Baton Rouge police, 28-year-old Stephen Heinrich stabbed 23-year-old Stacy Charles to death before crashing his car and setting himself on fire. Court documents show Charles had tried to protect herself from Heinrich multiple times before her death. In a protective order request filed in October in family court, Charles says Heinrich was physically abusive, having checked these boxes, saying he punched, shoved, and threatened her life with a weapon. However, in her written description of the abuse, she does not mention violence, instead stating he was relentlessly harassing and stalking her and her family through social media.
He created like any dating site, any type of thing. This man would create a page for my daughter.
It's behavior that Dominique Ramkaran and her family know well.
Everything that he did to my daughter, he was doing to the same girl.
Ramkaran lives in New York, where Heinrich is from. She says he harassed and stalked her daughter for months before he met Charles.
A year and a half, you harassed and stalked my daughter. A year and a half, you have tortured us.
In fact, it got so bad it led Ramkaran to file a civil suit against Heinrich when she says the police wouldn't take it seriously. According to her, he had been arrested in New York for violating a protective order several times.
The system failed both of these young ladies.
In Baton Rouge, Heinrich was never served with that initial protective order by Charles because officers couldn't find him. The matter was ultimately dismissed because Charles didn't show up to court. A month later, Heinrich was arrested for misdemeanor domestic abuse against Charles, and she was granted a protective order. He was issued a $2,500 bond by Commissioner Keena Kimball, and a week later stabbed Charles to death. Ramkaran says her death could have been prevented.
So how does a man that has a flipping assault, like a harassment, has probation, have warrants, were able to slip through the system, get a $2,500 bail, and was able to go back to the same young lady that he harassed and kill her?
District Attorney Hiller Moore is currently out of the country and said he did not want to comment on this case until he has all the facts, which he assures me his office is working to get. What we do know is when Heinrich went in front of Commissioner Kimball for his domestic abuse charge, the DA's office did let her know that he had been previously arrested for violating a protective order as well as a criminal mischief charge, both out of the state of New York. In terms of those protective orders that Baton Rouge police says that they found and that we know exist in New York, it's not sure why the DA's office did not have that information at the time.
And you can't even get any real semblance of justice because the punk ass burned himself alive. Do you take that and you say, it's time to start combing through that social media? Because before I care about you, I got to make sure that you praised black men. I got to make sure that you talked positively about black men. I got to make sure that everything on your social media is indicative that even though you dated outside of your race, you evil swirler interracial dater, you always talked positively about black men. And surprise, surprise, she has some tweets that are not favorable to black men. And I will be the controversial person in the room to say it. No, that don't fucking matter. I'm not about to craft an argument to be upset at a woman for not wanting to date a black man. I don't really care because that's not anyone who I'm in a relationship with, and I don't know this person. So their opinion don't really hold that too much fucking weight to me. But this routine of insert black person here, because it's either a man or a woman, in being in a situation where they're taken out by a white person, whether it be a man or a woman, and people do this weird little fucking game where before I care, I got to make sure that you were on your knees praising black men. I got to make sure you were on your knees praising black women. It's something that has gone on before, which has led a lot of people to point the finger at either black men or black women, when really it's all you stupid, miserable motherfuckers who spend too much time online trying to figure out how to date, knowing full well you're not emotionally stable enough to hold a conversation past WYD, and you should be ashamed of your fucking self for even trying. But this weird game of before I care, I must make sure, and then if you're not up to my standard, fuck you, is not really something we should be pointing a finger at anymore, because you all do it. You do this weird thing where if they're not up to your code, you don't care. Oh, it's not that I don't care. It's just I'm not going to put forth my energy towards some. You don't care. Quit trying to dress the fucking statement up as if it's somehow going to make it better. You're setting a rule for how much you're going to care about somebody who was unjustly killed, and your rule is how you fucking feel. And it don't matter what the response could be because it's always the same. If it was a black man, surprise, surprise, it's already happened. If it was a black woman, it's already happened before this current one.
One, I clearly blame this on divestors and swirlers. So you get the women that come on here who are all day about the white man's ice is colder and better, and these black women run out with the first white man, and shit like this happens because you got to convince that it's going to be that much better. You don't properly vet, and you make, unfortunately, careless mistakes. All we hear about is you're dating a black man, he's got to do all of this stuff. He has to do, he's got to spend $500 on dinner. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. And you're still not going home with them. No vetting, no figuring out, getting to know anybody in any way, shape, or form like you would with a black person, black man. and this shit happens. Like, again, these swirlers and divestors have this idealized vision of what white men are, and they're 99 miles away from right. Y'all let y'all guard down, y'all make reckless mistakes.
It's been a thing, but because the internet has become far and wide in the ability to see something in a completely different state, now you're going to have more people latching onto it so that they could host their little seminars or give their little think pieces about, wow, see what happens when you date outside of your race? As if I can't fucking put in front of your face right now a black man killing a black woman.
The family of a woman shot and killed following an argument at a pickup basketball game came face to face with the killer in court today. Cameron Hogg was supposed to go to trial this week. Instead, at the last minute, he took a plea deal, 20 years in prison for the killing of Asia Womack.
Or a black woman killing a black man.
Family is grieving tonight after investigators say a woman shot her partner after an argument over breakfast.
The deadly shooting happened Sunday morning in Laplace. In an exclusive interview you see only on WWL Louisiana, Eleanor DeBone spoke to the aunt of the victim, Joshua Jones, who described her nephew as a hardworking man.
Joshua is my sister's only child. She waited a long time to have a child, and then when she and her husband had him, we were all very happy about that.
A mother with one child shares a profound bond with that child, one so powerful, nothing else could ever matter.
My sister is not doing well. He called her every day, all day, even though they lived in the same house.
Joshua Jones's aunt and pastor, Carla Jones, says her younger sister once shared her love with her two loves, her husband and her son.
My brother-in-law passed when he was about 14.
Now Pastor Carla, her sister and their family are grieving an emptiness words cannot describe.
He lived with his mom. He was just wanting to make sure that everything for her was okay.
According to the St. John the Baptist Sheriff's Office, deputies were called to a Laplace home Sunday morning. The Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Tamari Hubbard from Marrero called 911 saying she shot her boyfriend in the chest. The office says Hubbard told deputies the duo were arguing over the food made for breakfast.
And if you just so happen to be one of the people who see what I just showed you and you want to write in some stupidly long paragraph, oh, what are you showing me this for? What does this prove? It proves that you motherfuckers who are simple-minded, who like to play this little game, you like to dance around the obvious that no matter where you go, no matter what time of day you go, you should be weary of everybody. But because your simple minds only think for the people, you think there's no black person on earth, or you word your sentiments like the only people who could harm a black person are someone who doesn't have that same skin color. And I'm here to tell you, you're fucking stupid, you're miserable, and you're never gonna find love. As if this somehow makes the black relationship stronger, because if you date outside of your race, you're more likely to die. You're more likely to die stepping outside of your fucking home. It's just a matter of who's gonna fucking do it. This weird game gotta stop, but unfortunately, it's not gonna stop, because you got a bunch of motherfuckers who have hurt feelings, hurt emotions, not healed at all, giving their opinions on dating, whether it be black women, black men, white men, because all the Mexicans got deported, and these are the only ones left in this fucking country, apparently. And you will never get any group of people to come together because everybody's arguing about the most minute things. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it again. I don't really give a fuck that the woman was not favorable to me and my chocolate skin. That's her loss. But I'm not about to see that and then say, yeah, well, that's what you get. I'm not going to feel any pity for you, because that takes away my humanity. And it's going to come back to bite me in the ass later. And I'm sorry, but as I said in the past around this same topic, no matter what is hanging between the legs, it's going to happen again to the black man. And the black man is going to be in a relationship with a white woman, or maybe a white man, because you know what? Same sex, kind of cool for some people if you like that. And they're going to die, and that fucking interracial lover that they got is going to be the one who killed them. And you're going to have motherfuckers on Twitter saying, please stick up for our black brother. And then they're going to find tweets not favorable to black gay men or black straight women. And then those motherfuckers are going to be like, fuck him, that's what he gets. And it's going to be the same cycle again and again and again and again. And it really creates that conversation of, oh, this is all doomer pill. This is all black pill. No, here's how you you solve it, you miserable motherfuckers. Fall in love with a person who makes you feel as though you matter. Don't matter the skin color, as long as it's not a fucking child, I don't care. But let me know, am I crazy? Should I be caring or not caring depending on what motherfuckers are saying on Twitter about dating? Does it take away from my humanity if I sit here and say, you deserved it because you dated outside of your race? Or are these people fucking stupid, miserable, and alone because Moral was in her fucking bag when she said this?
People are mad because they're lonely.
Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye-bye.